AAUC.TV.
Into the sun and let it just
Pay attention, catch.
Do we have
Does it have the Wolfton's logo? Looks like it.
No, Louis, there's one down there.
Yeah. Does it say no to doping? That's it.
You are shocked. Take that
Bem-vindos a Ultimate Frisbee, é um torneio africano. Meu nome é José Francisco Magalua, sou da equipe moçambicana, da Bique, MOZ Ultimate da Bique. Welcome to tournament South Africa. We come here, my name is José Francisco Magalua. I come from Mozambique, and our team is the Bique. So now I introduce this championship is African championship, and then the Bique is coming here to South Africa to the tournament. And now starting the game, Randy Paul Club. Welcome to Ultimate Frisbee.
Hi, good morning. I'm John Ambler. I'm going to be commentating at least for the from Catch 22. We've had a nice frosty morning here. Catch 22 is coming from Cape Town today to play at this All Africa Ultimate Club Champs. Looking forward to a good game, and looks like the teams are signaling readiness for the pull. And here we go. The disc lands out, and it looks like Catch is opting to go for the brick call. In Ultimate Frisbee, the brick call is when the disc lands outside of the field at the pull and is allowed to be brought in to the center of the field at a marked point where play may resume. Catch looking long early, but does not connect to the player downfield. Mozambique's disc.
Yes, it's Mozambican disc, and captain of Mozambique catch the disc. Let's go and start the game. Here we go.
Mozambique showing some great movement in the field there. Their players getting open quite easily. But Catch managing to keep them back in the field, holding them from progressing up. Mozambique looking long, but deed by one of the Catch 22 players.
So now Mozambique team is going D.
Catch looking long again. Go down the field. Oh, Kate Wood just missing that catch.
So now the disc is passing for Mozambique Ultimate and Bique. So captain taken.
So how long has this Mozambique team been playing together for?
We started playing 2017. 2017, it probably is 30 years ago together. So we started coming in South Africa tournament in 2013.
disc going up again. This time it makes it to a catch player. They're close to the end zone, looking for a reset. Cut down the line, and that's a score. That is Joe to Nikki. Great first point for the game. Catch 22 starting us off on the scoreboard. Here's you again. Mitch looking for a dump. Joe knowing that up the line cut is happening, and Kate grabbing it, both hands nice and secure. I mean, not Kate, sorry, Nikki. Always making sure to use two hands, especially when it's this cold in the morning. Catch now on defense. Catch 22 is a Cape Town team that they really focus on playing high intensity ultimate, but also maintaining a really high standard of spirit as well. Spirit of the game is a very important component of ultimate frisbee.
Yes.
And it is something that is really, you know, definitely one of my favorite parts of the sport. Would you say as well?
I think I agree. All players is needed to have fair play. The spirit of the game is very important. So now,
here goes Nick Zalumis with the pull, landing it deep in Mozambique territory.
Mozambique start to attack.
And what you see here is catchers using something that's known as a zone, which is where instead of players marking other players, they more mark an area of the field. It's a great way to put a lot of pressure onto the back line.
Yes.
And also a great way to conserve energy during tournaments. But Mozambique has broken through that zone. Catcher going to have to be on their toes to keep these guys contained. Nice.
Nice catch.
Mozambique using their handlers, keeping that disc moving, looking for gaps in the zone. Ooh. Mozambique punching it through. Oh,
nice try.
nearly, nice try there. Great look. Nick Zalumis picking up the disc.
Nice D, Paulina, Mozambique team.
Mozambique read that really well.
Yes. Nice D.
Catch wasting no time picking up the disc and getting it moving and hucking it long. Who's down there? Ooh, Thomas Gerhardt grabbing it out of the air there. Waiting, swinging across the field, and that is a score.
Score.
Disc there going to Ben. That's a great grab out of the air there. Thomas timing that jump perfectly. Patience on the disc, looking for that open player and swing it across field into the end zone.
It was beautiful. Great point.
Again, let's have myself. I need that man. Go. Last one. Cool. Yeah.
Going for a changeover in commentators. The new Mozambican commentator would like to introduce himself.
Hi, Marco Dewey.
Hi,
Sorry,
Marco.
I just came off the field.
You guys are doing some great work out there. It's looking like your handle line is working really hard to get the disc moving, and you're finding those gaps. And
No, we were hoping to attack that cup and just get it to move a bit, and then took a shot deep just to show that we had him that to stretch the field a bit. We got to open up that mid space a little bit to help us out. But you guys you're fast on offense on the turn, and it's really making us work for it.
Well, let's hope that that stamina holds up as this game goes on. We've got a long tournament ahead of us.
That is for sure.
The All Africa Ultimate Club Championships this year are going to be played over the course of 4 days, between 2 to 3 games a day. So this is also about which team has got the legs to take them through right to the finals.
That is absolutely correct. We got at least 2. For our team, at least, the day is a big day. We play 3 of our games. So we got to really get in the rhythm of things early on.
The pull going out to the side of the field there. Mozambique opting to go for the brick call.
Okay, it looks like we're attempting to run a horizontal stack. Catch coming out in man defense.
Ooh, nice field game.
Louis goes big. Oh, nice.
Out of back called. Oh, unfortunate turnover there. Just a bit too much oomph on that disc.
Yeah, you got to get used to throwing in the altitude. It travels a bit farther than at sea level.
Absolutely. Catch going for the vertical stack. Ooh. Swing to Tina.
Ah, some nice front of stack continuation.
Little 1-2 up the line.
Ah, some nice handler play, and then he goes big.
Ooh.
A little too high.
Just arcing over the player there.
Louis with the disc. Looking for help. Oh, catch goes bigger right away.
Ooh, once again, just floating over that player in the end zone.
The wind affecting it a bit. I don't think catchers realized the wind is picked up and they're now playing upwind.
Mozambique going for a nice little unfortunate, maybe cold hands first thing in the morning.
Yes.
But now catchers setting up right there outside the end zone. Looks like they're going for one of the end zone plays. Disc going early to Nathan Bezanghout.
Nice.
And that's a quick score there by catch.
Nicely done. Okay, some line swaps. And I'm back on.
Okay, good luck. We'll see you on the screen.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Catch calling a 4-person male line. Ultimate Frisbee also being a sport that is unique in that it really focuses on highlighting both men and women playing together, or of all genders. And it's looking like, yeah, they are really wanting to, because they've had 1 or 2 injuries on their female line, they're trying to kind of give their ladies a bit of a break during these first couple of games. Like I said earlier, it's quite a long tournament ahead. And joining me on the commentator side is Dylan Sims.
Hey Jambler, how you doing?
Fantastic, and yourself?
Oh, I'm good, thanks.
Are you going to be giving us some expert analysis on the plays that are going to be happening now?
Not as expert as you, but I'll give it a shot.
Looks like we got Mitch Horn signaling for the pull.
A little bit low and hard there, but not fielded as quickly from Mozambique. Just goes to Marco.
Catch going for a zone again.
Confident pass over the top. From Mario up. A D by Mitch again.
Catch going for the first available option. Nice hands by Neil Lazarus. And he goes deep.
From what I've heard, Neil only plays O points.
This is true. He magically disappears on the line every time there's a defense point.
Seems like there may be an out call.
Perspective has been asked. Ultimate Frisbee also unique in that it doesn't have any referees in the game, so it's a player-officiated sport. Calls like this are discussed by players on the field, and they decide the final outcome.
In called.
That's a score to catch 22.
Another break. 4-0. Nikki, who caught the disc, not originally from Catch 22, originally from a team called Chile Legends.
Though she is a welcome addition to Catch. She has got very, very confident hands and very, very solid throws. She has definitely been playing a pivotal point in Catch, just providing this extra layer of stability and just great attitude on the field as well. Lots of positivity coming from that one.
Come on, come on, come on, Ambush. Oh, hey. Okay. 0. I'll take one.
Nate with the disc. Hopefully for a big pull, going to the back of the end zone.
Ideally for these pulls, you want to get the disc in the air for as long as possible and get the attacking team to pick up the disc as close to the sideline as possible as well, so they don't have the entire width of the field to work with. And if your defenders can get down there in time, then you can also maybe trap them a bit on the sideline, putting a lot of pressure on them right outside of the end zone.
Nate with a nice pull. Across the field, being fielded to Louis Book. It's another unlucky drop in the middle of the field. Gives Catch an opportunity to go another one up.
Once again, using an offensive play. Tom goes long, just misses that jump.
Nice poaches by Mozambique to ensure that that was a difficult catch. Seems like they've now transitioned to man after that turn. Nice cut by Mozam just to get that reset.
They're making sure that that disc is never stationary. Nice. Oh!
Louis with a fantastic grab.
Beautiful. And he goes long again.
Unfortunately, that is what we call conservation of greatness. Your heart is pounding, you're super excited, and you just put it a bit too far.
We've all been there. But this does take the pressure off of Mozambique, sending it all the way back to Catch's end zone. Now they need to get a turn again.
Bique has quite a poach in the situation, with one person all the way at the back, just watching play. With Catch just abusing that poach at the moment. Seems like they've tightened up, everyone now has a man.
One of the players taking a bit of a tumble.
A bit of miscommunication there. Nate thought she was coming under, she thought she was going deep.
Mozambique picking it up close to the line.
Can Louis keep doing what he's doing?
Well, Louis is one of those players that has joined Mozambique from UCT, and on UCT he is an insanely intense player. He has got so much energy, so much agility. He's one of the top athletes in SA Ultimate at the moment.
Ooh, unfortunate little fall there. No foul call though.
Go line for one.
With a very interesting dish pass, well kept by number 11.
Let's use this catch. Set it up. On me again.
Going up the line to Tom, who had plenty of space.
Mozambique continue to put a little poach on to make sure that they can't get a deep option straight away with it going over the top and a last grab.
Halvar taking it in the end zone there. Great score by Catch.
I think if Mozambique can just tighten it up, make those little passes completed, definitely allow them to get a few scores in this game.
The poach is a good idea, but I think Catch are abusing them or punishing them a bit for it at the moment.
Catch giving the disc to Kate for the big pull. Kate having one of the biggest backhands potentially on the team.
She showed in quite a few of the games yesterday as well that she's got the accuracy to go on with it, having a couple of great, very, very precise end zone hucks.
Such a strength to have in your team.
Absolutely. Kate also a pickup for Catch for this tournament, joining us from Ghost Ultimate. Ghost is representing today at AAUC, but also has a team at Windmill, a club tournament happening in Holland, right?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, that's the one.
Oh, nice little D from Mozambique, not running onto that disc.
Horizontal.
Interesting choice to go horizontal so close to the end zone. Obviously catches a plan though. Joe gets the disc. Joe goes to Tom. Tom goes for the break throw to Kate.
A bit of chaos happening down
Kate with a great inside break.
just outside the end zone.
Mozambique with a good bid, but unfortunately not getting the disc. Joe with the score.
Just pinching it out of the air there.
It's been called out though. Seems to be being signaled in. Goal for catch. Unlucky that from the Mozambique player didn't get that disc.
But Mozambique are definitely not stepping off the intensity right now.
Oh, 100%. They're very hungry to get their first point in this game. Mozambique put in quite an interesting line with 4 players originally not from the Mozambique team. Let's see if they can help the team get their first point. But for now, we have Nick Zalumis with the disc for the pull. One of the fastest and nippiest players in South African Ultimate. Always a difficult one to mark.
Absolutely. And on defense, he is always ready to lay out. So if you're ever running at the disc and Nick Zalumis is behind you, know that he is ready to dive right through out of nowhere.
Marco fields the pull, goes up to 14. With a great D by Mitch. Really reading when that disc is going.
Catch going for the end zone play again.
The question is, can Mitch get a bookends?
No pressure. Looks like Marlies is going for it. Looking for a handler. Tina going up the line.
Oh, Marco doing a good job to not go through her to get the disc, always avoiding contact. Quite a well-spirited man he is.
Absolutely.
Nice play, the big.
Mozambique just inches away from having a bite on that disc.
7-0 to catch. Let's see if they can take half this point. I'm sure they're hungry for it. It's always nice to get a bagel in the morning.
I do kind of wish there was a bit of a coffee van or something around here. That would definitely be a welcome addition to the fields.
You can see our cameraman agrees.
So if there are any sponsors out there that want to sponsor an Ultimate Frisbee team, know that there's a great market for early morning coffee here.
Nate again with the disc. One of Catch's focuses, I believe, is making sure that everyone is talking to each other on the field.
Absolutely, and even the sideline as well. Having an active sideline that is speaking to the players on the field really, really helps as an extra pair of eyes, especially when you're on defense, to know if something's happening behind you while you are face marking a player.
Very well fielded by Marco, making sure that he got under the blade of that disc.
Setting them up.
With the disc to Louis. Louis up the field to 48. He fakes the deep, puts it up a bit too high, goes over her head.
Tina picking up disc. It's horizontal.
Mozambique adapting really quickly and finding men.
Yeah.
Normally one of the most difficult things after a zone.
And as Catch picks up the disc, all the Mozambique players are on their marks and ready to go.
Jolix starts looking for his reset. Marco with a great mark, making that difficult. This goes to Tina, unfortunately. There's a dog on the field. This seems to be a common occurrence at this venue.
I guess at least one of the Labradors made it to this tournament.
Not only are there wild dogs here, but there's wild dogs playing in the tournament, being the South African under-24 team.
Looking for undercuts.
Tina has the disc. She just wants to take that easy option, going up the line. Nate gets the disc with a nice little lefty grab. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw a lefty instead, but he goes for the flick. Nikki goes to Joe.
Centering it.
Oh, unfortunate drop by Marlies. Louis with the disc. Hoping to get that disc moving. Throws it straight up. Marco once again making sure not to bid over people. Ooh, Louis with the good read. He gets up there, smashes the disc down. Some would say you should catch your Ds. Doesn't quite apply to Louis Book all the time. Louis with a throw to Marco. Still great little inside break back to Louis. Louis puts it deep. Nate has got the positioning, goes up. It's a great read from Nate, not giving any chance to the defender. Nate looking for the reset, gets it to Marlies with a rage cut, going upfield to Tina.
Tina doing a great job creating these upfield options.
Right now Nikki doesn't have a mark, completely open, gets the disc.
Marlies calling the stack, trying to get all the players.
This goes to Nate again. Tina's going deep. Will Nate do it? Yes, he does. He puts it up. Marco's going for it as well. Nice read by Tina. Gets the disc. Nope.
Great hands, and that is another score. And that's the first half of this game. Well, that's it for the first half of this first game on the second day. Looks like both teams are coming out firing. Mozambique with the...
Alti.tv. Alti.tv.
So leave space for them to get the disc, but you are moving up and down the field at all times trying to receive the disc. Okay, and if you see the disc go up deep, or if you see one of the handlers, one of the back three in open space, like give them that option, give them the deep throw. There's no wind here, we can get that throw out. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for offense. I know that was a lot. Please ask questions if you have them. There should be questions because yeah, that was a lot. On defense.
We can do it on Tuesday.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I think we're gonna have to stick with the defense that we have now. For this match. But guys, we need to stay tight on our marks. We need to stay close to the people we're working to always. Okay. Just keep running. I know it's tough, but like we're here to play ultimate. It's the only thing we're doing here. So let's play ultimate. Let's run hard. Let's try to get that disc. Be hungry for it. Go get it. Let's have a good remainder of the game, I guess. Okay. Let's have a cheer and get some throws in quickly. Come on, guys.
So then you go. As they came down. With your hand. 3, 2, 1. David está em fogo! Nice cheer, David.
Ready for round 2?
You want to swatch or you get?
And here we are coming in for the second half of the first game today.
Catch going to look to just keep the momentum, keep pushing up to the half, and obviously the Bique wants their first point and they're really going to be hungry for it. Catch doesn't start with the engines running full. Potentially give the Bique away back in this game. But the Bique really taking advantage of the full time of this half time.
Looking forward to see what kind of adjustments are made. Both teams having 3 games today, so that's probably in the back of their minds, thinking on how they're going to play and rotate their different players. It's always interesting for the Cape Town teams to come up and play in Gauteng. There's always a lot less wind to deal with, so the zones generally are less effective. And the Gauteng teams generally tend to huck a lot more because they're used to that still breeze coming across the field.
I mean, more importantly, being at a high altitude means that the Cape Town teams really take a knock, coming up almost 1,000 meters.
Absolutely. You can definitely feel it on the first day. Muscles are not quite responding the way they normally do. Thomas going for the pull.
Mozambique fielding the pull well, getting that catch. Easy resets through the zone. Just holding the disc, just taking their time. Catch really putting pressure on those passes though. There is a little breeze that is quite deceiving for most teams today.
Mozambique having a couple of seconds static there, but getting it going again.
Ooh, a little bit of a foul, not quite the right hand signal, but I'm sure we can all see it from here.
Hand signals are really important in a game like this, where a lot of the teams speak different languages, but everyone knows what the hand signals mean.
Nice play by Mozambique, just taking their time, working it up as they can, taking those open options, crashing into the zone to make sure that it's constantly moving.
Oh, good one, Michaela. You good?
No call and a turnover. Unlucky drop by Mozambique, working it so well through that zone until there. Seems like someone in Mozambique isn't marking.
Guys, why we got 3 mid?
Continue to just mark that space. Marianne getting the disc. Nice grab. Looks upfield. Completes it to Neil. Neil showing why he's only an offensive player. Easy throw for a score.
Neil is mainly interested in just getting his name on the score sheet. I think he's definitely one of those high glory players, I'd say. You know. No, just kidding. Neil is definitely one of the greatest assets.
Isn't that why we all play Ultimate, really?
Oh yeah.
For the names on the score sheet.
Yeah. But Neil is definitely an asset to Catch 22. Just once again providing a combination of great spirit, positivity, and just a solid player on the disc.
We say that though, but Neil was on the field right now as a defensive player. Let's see what he can do. Be it his confidence that they'll get the turn, or maybe he's just feeling energetic today. Nate with the disc seems to be Catch's go-to puller when he's on the line. Catch with the potential of his zone point coming through, really working well against this Bique team, making them just play some patient offense and hoping to get the silly little drops through the middle.
Once again, zones are a great way to conserve energy on these very, very long tournaments. But you'll always find that your front couple of players tend to run a lot more than the rest. And it can be quite tiring, so you've got to remember to rotate those front players, especially the players that are on chase.
Also reset by Mozambique, just keeping that disc moving. Almost looked like a foul was being called, but instead just pulling up your shirt. Maybe another version of pulling up her socks.
Hey, yeah, the good old arm socks. You could laugh into the microphone, it's okay.
I will forever hold it back. Tom with the score. Tom playing some great zone defense, not letting that easy reset go off. Seems like Nate is quite hot, getting some shade from Mitch Horn. No, not quite Mitch. Number 14. Who is he?
Is that Kenny?
No, 14.
14. Oh, Halvar. That is Halvar. We actually had a test the other day to find out who knows the numbers on the Catch-22 team. And as it turns out, Neil Lazarus knows most of the team's numbers off by heart.
I'm sure he has a place in everyone's heart in catch.
Oh, absolutely. Right there in the left ventricle.
Once again, Mitch. Once again, Nate with the disc. Nate being one of those players who's a firm believer in gloves.
Well, the gloves are particularly nice on a cold morning like this, because having a hard plastic disc hitting the bone of your fingers, it's quite a painful experience that I think all of us have had.
Nate with a great pull, going outbound, coming right back to the middle of the field. Well fielded by Marco, who unfortunately just throws it right past Louis, who did not have the reaction speed to get that in time.
It's going to put a lot of pressure on Mozambique. But let's see how their defense goes. Louis poaching off the stack a little bit, looking for anyone moving into that space up the line. Going for the break side. Ooh, but Joe just not making it.
You can see the frustration in Nick's face, number 16, with the unfortunate throwaway there. Joe, number 21, not quite seeing that disc early enough.
Anticipation is really important in plays like that.
Louis with the throw, no one quite ready for it, but everyone avoiding contact.
It's great to see the awareness on the field at the moment. Everyone's making sure that no one gets injured.
Nate with quite a high throw. Goes to Tino, who seems to be calling a foul. What I assume to be a dangerous play.
And there's the horn, signaling
halftime. Fortunately for us, we've already had halftime, which means it doesn't apply to us.
bit of charades there, acting out the incident.
Unfortunately for us, the hand signals aren't quite being shown, so we don't quite know what's happening yet. But there's conversations going on all over the field. Seems to be going to Tina for an uncontested foul call.
Foul call for dangerous play, it sounds like. Violation called. Players need to wait in the positions that they were in at the time the foul was called. Disc is tapped in. getting very crowded around the disc at the moment. Catch need to spread the field out a bit more.
But Joe throws it up line, and Nate does a very good job at keeping his toes inbound. Some would say that he did ballet when he was younger. He would probably disagree with me.
Yes, I definitely disagree, because I'm fairly certain that the ballet is still ongoing, judging by those twinkle toes. That's some great awareness of the field there.
Catch just really keeping their foot on the pedal, just making sure that they keep momentum in this game. They want to get this over quickly.
Conserve energy for the next game, but also you always want to keep up intensity when playing any team, just to respect their game as well. You don't want to take your foot off the pedal, because that's really not a compliment to the other team. So it's great to see that both sides are keeping that intensity and respecting the game. And it looks like we are signaling for the pull.
Nick with the pull, nice pull downfield. Fielded by Louis Bique.
Quickly centered.
The team's name is DB, which could also be said to be De Book instead of De Bique.
Hey.
Nice grab by Marco, making sure that Joe can't go for that disc. Nice throw by Louis through the zone, back to Louis.
Those three handlers doing a great job making space.
Good leave there to make sure that the disc goes to the correct player. Just slowly taking the disc, goes far, resets it past Joe.
That's really what you want against a zone. It's a nice wide swing.
Louis being a bit out the field, walks back in. Everyone just telling him that he's in. Louis with a throw over the top. A bit high again. Blades not quite there yet. Kate with a big shot up. Unfortunately, a bit ambitious for that one.
Catch wasting no time on the turnover there, but Mozambique now on the disc. Looking for options upfield.
Louis goes over the top. Kate's chasing that down. Unfortunate read by the Mozambican player.
Once again, the Mozambican player is hard on defense straight away.
Nicky with a nice catch, easy grab, wants to go upfield. Goes to Nick. Louis with a little jump, but knows he's not going to get that one. Catch with another break, but giving De Bique many chances at that point.
It looks like De Bique are definitely seeing those over-the-top options of the zone there, and they're taking them. It's just a matter of translating that into the next couple of passes upfield, and then they'll be in a very, very dangerous position.
Of course, they just got to bring them down. They just got to concentrate and make sure that every throw that goes up is completed, and it's going to make a difference to their game. Tom with the disc, since Nate is not on the field. He gets an opportunity to pull. Let's see what he has.
Here goes the big. Let's go, catches!
Both teams just really showing each other a lot of respect and a lot of spirit this game. It's quite nice to watch.
Definitely. And Mozambique is keeping up the positivity, which is always tough to do in games like this.
Well fielded. Very, very close to getting that disc.
Mozambique seeming to favor those little short passes at the moment. Looking for a gap.
Just resetting the disc all day, going through the zone. Nice little jump catch, making sure he gets that extra meter. Throw through the middle. Just working it up slowly. Back to 40, really seems to be owning the zone line. With a drop on the sideline, don't quite think he was ready for that throw.
It was quite an interesting little wraparound throw there.
Catch just taking their time, getting that disc. But still, once it's up, but they get it moving quickly. Throw to the middle of the field. It's a great grab by Joe.
Joe looking for a reset.
Tom goes to Kenny. Kenny goes up and collects the disc. Kenny to Marlies. Kenny goes up the line, looks off, but she still goes for it. Nice grab by Kenny. Good play by Catch. Scores 13-0 to Catch.
Catch are seeing those small little gaps in the Mozambican defense.
That was a great fake by Marlies to really get her mark to go all the way across to allow that little over-the-top backhand.
Marlies definitely one of the most experienced players on Catch. She's been playing Ultimate for many, many, many years, and just really, really showing that experience on the field here today. Catch taking a few steps back, making sure that they don't have any offsides.
Not a rule that is called as often in South Africa, which has been apparent when we attend the World Champs tournaments. Catch does a good job at that with Nate with a big pull downfield.
Safely into the Mozambique player hands. And they're quick to get it moving, not giving Catch's zone any time to set up.
Unfortunate. Good choice, but not as well executed. Catch sets their zone, Ooh, Mitch with a not great pass. Nate trying to pick it up, but he just couldn't. He's going deep. Instead goes over the top. Takes the easy options. Right now there's no one back. Takes the reset.
Great movement.
Through the middle, great grab. But unfortunately causes contact with that.
Injury called. Nikki coming off the field. But she seems to be smiling, so hopefully nothing too bad there.
Sorry, just quickly, was there a call?
The hand signal for injury is two hands placed with fingers interlocked at the back of the head.
Someone's read their rules recently.
Every night before I go to bed.
I don't keep my handbook next to my bed. I keep it at work so I can read it instead of doing that.
Now that's true commitment right there.
Hopefully none of my employers watch this video. Still very nice play by Mozambique, just taking it slow, working it through, resetting all day. Everyone is collapsing in right now, but he gets the throw off.
Catch calling the crashes as they happen. Mozambique taking a nice easy swing option. Just keeping that stall count reset.
It's quite interesting to see that many of the Mozambican players are not playing in cleats.
It definitely makes it a lot trickier, and you can see that they battle traction every now and then.
Especially on this slightly wet grass that's caused by the weather at the moment.
Ooh, nice swing there.
Kate putting in, doesn't get the disc, goes upfield. Just keeps that disc moving. Well, very well played right now by Mozambique. Just taking those very open options. Fire called, they're going man.
Mozambique just missing those deeper options at the moment, but they're slowly moving it up. Great communication between the handlers.
Big pick down call. It seems like everyone has their hands up.
pick called before the throw, meaning that the throw has to go back to the player that had the disc at the time. A pick call is when a player is obstructed by another player when they're trying to make a movement. This normally happens when an offensive player is attacking a space and the defender is blocked by another player, meaning that they can't follow that offense player. And seeing as though Ultimate is a non-contact sport, the way that that's mediated is by calling a pick, which means that the defender calls a pick saying that they don't want to initiate contact with the player that's in the way, and you shouldn't be running in such a way that you use other players as almost barriers for your defender.
It was a throw over the top, but not quite completed. Being double covered by both Kate and Mitch. Seems to have hurt his knee, but got back up, ready to play. Mozambique got quite excited to score there, unfortunately throwing that disc away.
They did a great job working up the field, but there is another injury called.
Louis Book stepping on. Catches Nate picking up the disc, with Louis marking him. A very good matchup between those two equal-sized men.
He's definitely going to have to work hard to get the disc out of that corner.
Nice first cut, getting that corner open. Neil going deep. It's being put double covered by Mozambique. Not quite going for the disc though. Nice cut to open space, but thrown up, giving the... but well received.
Halvar having the heart and the sight to pick that out of the air.
The Mozambican player saw that throw come up very early, but it didn't seem like he was confident enough to go chase it down. Unfortunately, just giving Neil the opportunity to bring that down with the offensive player that he is.
And it's always very, very hard to defend that open player in the end zone when it's just you and them, because that offense player's got the entire space of the end zone to work with at that point. So until your team gets down there to help you with the defense, you've got to really, really dance to kind of stay on that person. The game today is being played to a maximum score of 15. So it's up to the Mozambique team to make sure that this game keeps going. This might be their last opportunity to put something on the scoreboard, so they're going to have to come out firing with a lot of intensity.
They would really want to. Playing your first game in the morning and not getting a score is not a great feeling. I've done it myself. So I'm sure that Louis and Marco will be pushing this line hard to get a score nice and early. Fielded by Louis. Just back to Louis, pulling it back down with his left hand. Very confident catch. Faking through the zone. Louis just takes the dump option. Nice fakes. Marco with the disc to Louis, very quick throw. Louis across.
Just bouncing out of the player's hands there.
No, I believe Tom Gerhardt got that D. Quite a difficult option taken by Louis, going across the top. Nice deep cut, more than one person going. Louis goes to cover, Louis gets up, gets the D. Marco very excited from that one.
Great read on the disc by Louis there.
Once again, Bique noticing early so that they can take those poachers. They just need to take advantage of the O point that they're given. Marco gets that disc in, moves it straight off the sideline, goes through the middle of the zone.
The last thing you want to get is trapped on the sideline with the zone around you. Puts a lot of pressure on the handlers.
A nice throw, unfortunately. Too much blade in that one and not going far enough. Good option, but not as well executed. Mitch goes to Marianne. Marianne to Kenny. Louis with a huge bid gets up fast. Marco with an amazing read.
Oh, and Kenny with the reply.
Kenny not expecting to get that D as it hits his arm. Very well read though. Goes up line, Marco once again.
And
Marco
looking
puts
long.
it. He's running it down. Lay out.
Come on! No!
Lays out a bit early there. Not quite able to bring that down. A very excited run though, with a smile on his face.
Mitch taking that early to Tina, who's completely poached.
Tina puts it just too far for Tom. Tom being a very good deep so far in this game. Fortunately, the dog ran across the field, not during play this time. Louis with the throw across, putting it very high, giving Mitch a chance.
Two Mozambique players.
Mitch with a better read than both of them, but it seems as something happened.
Checking if there's any calls happening.
Louis getting quite happy with that one, well, quite excited with that one and just putting it too high. Originally coming from UCT with some very tall players who are able to bring down most throws.
UCT has been a great source of players for Ultimate over the last couple of years. A lot of people that you see in clubs like Catch 22 started off their Ultimate career with the UCT Flying Tigers. A foul is being called, and is it a contested foul?
It is indeed. Seems like Mitch and can't quite see who that is having a discussion of whether or not it is a foul and what happened.
That is Joe, the Spirit captain for Catch 22 for this game. A contested foul is when the player that calls the foul, a contested foul. Oh,
use your words.
Dylan, would you like to explain eloquently what a contested foul is?
You're the one that reads the book, reads the rules before you go to sleep.
Apparently, I fell asleep halfway through that paragraph.
That one is a complicated one, at least. You had to read the appendix to fully understand what's going on.
So, and I had my appendix removed, so I didn't get that. So anyway, a contested foul is, of course, when the player that calls the foul, the player that's with them, does not quite agree that the foul had taken place, and to kind of mediate that contested foul means the disc goes back to the last non-disputed player or throw, which means back to the sideline here with Louis. The players try to remember where they were.
Yeah, that's you, Teeny. You're in here. I know, but you're in here. Everybody ready?
Once again, the language barrier must be a difficult piece of this game, with the Mozambican team being Portuguese. Louis making sure that his team is heads up and then throws it a bit between two players, not knowing who's at for.
Catch hustling to the disc.
Tina's the disc. Kenny does the usual catch cut. Goes to the back, but Tom is completely poached. Tom with the throw across the field. Louis hungry to get it, not quite getting there. Paul with the fake. Paul with a great throw. Oh, Mitch with a huge bid, not quite getting it.
That was some great defensive work by Mozambique there, making Catch really work for it. And then going long, right into the hands of a waiting Mozambique player. And is this going to be... Yes! The first score for Mozambique of the game. And it was beautifully done down the field into the hands of the Mozambican player.
Mozambique is very excited with that score. They were not ready to not go down without a fight. They don't want this game to end yet. Can they get another?
That was a great read on the disc.
Unfortunate play by Catch leading to that, with many layouts going up that point, and Mitch Horn just not being able to take that one down.
The Mozambique just doing a fantastic job there, just recognizing the opportunity. All the players straight away were turned on. They knew exactly what was happening. They knew that they had to look for the continuation up the field. That continuation was there waiting in the end zone. And that's how you have a nice quick score with maybe 3 or 4 passes across the entire length of the field.
Interesting fact about Marco Dewey, he's originally not from South Africa. He is studying at Stellenbosch University. I believe he's studying computer science, but he comes from America.
Ah, America land. Interesting. There does tend to be quite a few Americans dotted around most of the Ultimate Frisbee teams. They tend to be little seeds from which Ultimate teams grow.
Marco hoping to lead this team to another score. That being the first huck, I believe, that was completed this game from Bique.
I would definitely like to see a few more like that. Mozambique having an opportunity on defense now.
Marco with the pull. Lots of heart in that one. Fielded by Marlies. Marlies to Kate. Tom with the cut from the back, but Joe with the cut from the front, which means Tom can't get the disc. Big throw upfield, making sure to hit that one as far as possible.
Catch not stopping the roll of the disc there, giving Mozambique a few more meters.
I don't quite know if that one was planned or not, but very well used. Throw goes to Louis, very hard to get that one.
Oh, and another score right through the center of Catch's defenses.
Mozambique is definitely not done with this game. Catch with the little mistakes, just giving Mozambique the opportunity to score again.
Mozambique showing that they can definitely play an intense game of Ultimate under pressure.
Louis Book, the captain of this team, just calling the line. You can see the tiredness on his face. He is not used to this Joburg air. There he just goes and puts himself on, because a lot of his other players are a little bit more tired than he is right now. Taking a nice sit on the side of the field.
Oh, Joe's got ours.
Mozambique are definitely looking to keep putting a couple of scores on the scoreboard now that they've got a taste for it.
I'm sure their goal is to get this game to go to cap, which is 10 more minutes. How many points could they score in that time?
10.
That would be very impressive, but still not bringing the score equal. So exactly what Mozambique needed to just refocus and make sure that going into the next game, as you say, 3 games today, they're a team with momentum.
Absolutely, you definitely want to take this kind of positivity, this kind of never give up attitude into the next game.
Big pull by Louis, fielded by Neil, the offensive legend of South Africa. This goes to Nick. Nick with all the fakes in the world, puts a little pass over the top. Still collected. No call.
Good avoiding contact there as well.
Louis with the disc, what can he do with it?
Mozambique looking for 3 in a row now.
Louis to Marco. Marco really been doing well with this team right now in the last few points. Louis dancing around, gets the disc. Louis to Marco. Marco with the score. That's 3 in a row. Bique really building on this momentum.
Catch are really going to have to make sure that they turn on now. They took off the accelerator just a little bit, and Mozambique are taking full advantage of that at the moment.
That's all this game is, just 1 point at a time, and that's what Mozambique wants to do.
It's very easy for, even in games like the finals, if you're 2 or 3 points down to kind of lose focus and take yourself out of that moment. And it's the teams that have the steely resolve to remain focused on that point that they are playing that eventually will be able to crawl back from those deficits and win those big games.
Mozambique just filled with cheers right now, obviously very excited of 3 points in a row. I'm sure they want to make it 4. Louis with the disc, hoping for another big pull to put pressure on them. Louis sporting some very nice Wild Dog layout gloves that he got 2 years ago.
Oh, do you want to tell us more about the Wild Dogs and their merchandise?
Perhaps. When I think about what all it is. So previously Wild Dogs have had became a Loud partner and got the gloves sponsored. Well, not quite sponsored, but given at a cheaper rate. Louis with a big pull going up, but unfortunately going out. Wild Dogs have also been selling some supporter kit. They've also been selling some Wild Dog plushie toys, all in the effort to make sure that they can get to the tournament as cheap as possible. Nick Salumis with the disc again. A man that can almost put it anywhere in the field goes to Kate, his wife. Kate going up the field, not quite looking, not the connection they wanted. To Bique just with the little passes. Louis gets the disc, Louis puts it up. Kate with a good read.
Oh! Ooh, and a pretty hard collision there, Mozambique player to Mozambique player.
You can see that she is in a lot of pain right now.
Injury signals.
Unfortunately with that one, it is a turnover and will go to Catch to give them an opportunity to get the game point in this game.
I'm assuming that because he tackled her.
Medics have not been called yet. Hopefully it's not too bad. The medics have been called. Unfortunately, contact does happen in ultimate frisbee, and many players have got injury stories from collisions, from poor layouts onto their shoulders.
Catch earlier yesterday lost Sandra, the coach of the under-24 team, to a knee injury, I believe.
Yeah, and that was just coming down at a slightly bad angle, and if your muscles are just in the wrong angle, well, it's very, very easy to get injured on the way down.
There she is, walking off the field. Seems like the medics are still on their way though. Hopefully they can give her some help.
It's always good just to check and make sure that they're okay.
Bique contesting whether or not that stays a score. Bettina trying to explain potentially the rule going through. Tom also has a opinion that he'd like to give in.
So at the end of the day, if he had sustained control of the disc and made contact within the end zone, then it would be a score, but they're not quite sure he had sustained control of the disc at that point.
I believe because he made contact with his own team member.
Oh.
It would be a turn.
I see.
Language barrier probably came into play there, with Mozambique definitely wanting to keep that disc. Trying to explain it in English would have made that a difficult situation. But Catch now with the disc. Tom walking it up to the line.
Some heavy pivots there.
It goes up the line. Louis just running that down completely.
Making sure that the Catch players do not have any bid on it.
Nice grab, little cut up line. Going back to Louis. Louis going up, getting that disc even under pressure of Joe. Louis going back, just working with each other up the field each time. Oh, Nick with an amazing grab. The Mozambique player not quite knowing what happened there.
Bit of a magician trick there.
Oh, it goes up line to Nick.
Very floaty though.
Not quite the read that he wanted, and Tom with the game. But still good spirit between them, helping each other up. Very well played by Mozambique there at the end, turning on the Jets, getting 3 points in a row, almost 4 with a very unfortunate collision.
And that was the last point. Nick Zalumis to Thomas Gerhardt. And that concludes the first game of the second day of the tournament. Catch 22 coming away with a solid victory, but the Bique showing with those last 3 points that they are ready to fight right to the end, and hopefully they take that spirit going forward into the next game of the tournament. Thank you, Dylan.
Alti.tv